When I woke up this morning, the last thing that I was expecting was the announcement of a new Zelda game.
That's what I'm talking about!
Honestly, this was one of the best Nintendo Directs I've ever seen. We opened it up with a Mario and Luigi game? What? Nobody was expecting that. I thought that Alpha Dream was dead. I thought that the dream was dead. I thought we'd never get another game. Mario RPG fans are eating very well right now, and I am one of them. And then they announced a new Super Mario Party game, which has just a ton of potential just from the small footage that we've seen of it. And of course, the new Zelda game. And then a new Metroid Prime 4. That's exciting. That was announced years and years ago. Can't believe we're finally getting that scene today. But this is going to be about Zelda this time. Holy cow. This is the first time we're ever playing as Princess Zelda as the protagonist of a Zelda game ever since Wand of Gamelon. It's incredible. I was almost starting to lose hope that we'd ever see the day that this would happen. But here we are, and let's just get right into this. At first, I didn't know what I was looking at, but then you see the Hylian shield, and it's... holy crap! It's Zelda! It's here, guys.
Okay, it's happening! Everybody stay calm!
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm!
Wait.
Everybody calm down!
And this time, Link has a hood and a cape, which I always love seeing that. But I want to take a look at the sword. The sword that he's holding is not the Master Sword. It is not the Force Sword. It is not any sword that we've ever seen in a Zelda game. The closest sword that it looks like is the Goddess Sword from Skyward Sword. But even then, it's not that close. Just the color, basically. I want to take a look at the symbol on his cape, compare it to how his sword looks. They look pretty similar. So there's probably some kind of underlying connection there. There's a few things I need to point out about this Link in particular. I don't believe that this is the same Link that we see in Link's Awakening, who is also the same Link that we see in A Link to the Past. Definitely two different Links because there's a different sword. Ganon is back, so unless A Link to the Past Link has to deal with Ganon several times, this could be the same guy, but I really doubt that it is. So more than likely, this is a different Link, different Hyrule than any that we have seen before. Editing Mitchell here, it has come to my attention that this does appear to be more like the A Link to the Past Zelda map than I had originally thought. That said, it does look a lot bigger than A Link to the Past, and there is a lot more going on in the background space. So, new enough, and that's a good thing. I love new Hyrules. Give me more. But not only is this Link a different Link, but it looks like this is a Link that's clearly at the end of his journey. He has the cool looking sword, and in addition to that, he has the silver arrows that he uses to break Zelda out of her enchanted imprisonment. That's pretty significant. Link is at the end of his journey, but Zelda's is just beginning. Now, part of me is sad. I'd really like to see this whole Zelda game play out with this Link. But, I'd rather have this. Right off the bat, one of the things that I noticed about this trailer is that it is full of Legend of Zelda tropes. First, you have Zelda being trapped in a pink crystal, waiting for Link to rescue her. And then you see Link and Ganon participating in the dead man's volley. You even see Link do a spin attack to finish the job. We've grown to expect these things out of Zelda games. Oh, and a side note here, Link throwing off his cape, so cool. Moving along. Look closely at the rift. You can see bits of rubble and other pieces inside of it. If you fast forward into the trailer, you can also see trees and living things that are also residing in the rifts. If you continue on further down the trailer though, you don't see as much when you look closely at these rifts. So maybe as we get the game coming out, we'll be able to look more into it. But for now, it does look like it's not destroying anything, it's just capturing them. My crackpot theory is that the rifts are going to function kind of like the Dark World in A Link to the Past, where Zelda will find a way at some point to travel between Hyrule and whatever's going on in those rifts. I'd really like to see, some dungeons or other ways to explore in there. Just fascinating to think about where this game is going with the rifts. What are the rifts? So the first footage we get to see of the player actually controlling Zelda, we see her leaving Hyrule Castle. But this time it looks like Zelda's wearing Link's cloak. But not only that, she's also wearing a completely different dress. I'm pretty sure she's leaving the castle under strict orders to not do so. But on top of that, the exploration seems to take a lot of inspiration from Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, where I'm not seeing any consistency to when Zelda is allowed to approach different areas. It looks like as soon as she finds something that she can adapt with her rod, she is able to use it to explore further into the map. And here we are meeting the companion character for a Zelda game, because it's hard to make a Zelda game without a companion. It has been done before, but I always love having them. And this one is seemingly related to the Triforce. I mean, her name is Tri. She has golden triangles hanging on her back. But the triangles seem to play a much more important part of the gameplay than that is initially discussed in the trailer. The Tri-Rod and Tri are probably connected, seeing that, Tri is the one giving it to you. That and the shared name, and yeah, you know where I'm coming from, I think. But I want to pay attention to the number of triangles that are following Tri. At first, I thought that the 3 triangles were just a design choice, play on the Triforce, etc., etc. But later on in the trailer, you actually see that Tri has 4 triangles. And if you look even further, every time Zelda uses one of her Echo abilities, one of the triangles on Tri moves to the space where Zelda's Echo is. But not only that, sometimes it's more than just one of the triangles. Sometimes it's 2, and even there's one that takes 3. Your exploration looks like it's going to be limited by how many of these triangles that you have. I'm guessing that later on down the line, Zelda will be able to find more, because when you first see Tri, she only has 3 triangles. When you see the fairy again later in the trailer, there's more. I'm guessing this is going to be like the batteries in Tears of the Kingdom, where there's some way to get more of them. Maybe at the end of each dungeon, or maybe just as an additional thing to find. I'm guessing that some areas in the game may be blocked off by the fact that you don't have enough triangles to get there. Eiji Aonuma did say he wanted people to explore and play the game in multiple different ways so that nobody's adventure feels the exact same. It's kind of the mantra that Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom were built on. So whether or not you have enough triangles, I'm guessing that getting access to more will not be so much of a struggle that it hinders your gameplay. A significant portion of this map seems to be explored by Zelda while she has 3 hearts. Now, this is a gameplay trailer, and they do have dev tools that let them explore different parts of the map whenever they want, but, maybe there's something to that. I don't know. I do think they want people to explore it as they please, in whatever way they want, based on what Eiji Aonuma was saying. So it looks like the more powerful an enemy is, the more triangles it takes to use. And I'm guessing that you're going to get dungeon bosses as echoes as well. And my craziest theory of all is that Link himself will be an echo that you can use, probably taking a ton of triangles. That would be interesting to see. And it doesn't even just stop there. I don't think that the Tri-Rod is just going to be used for summoning enemies and little items. I think it's Impa doing a special technique on Hyrule Guards. I'm guessing that Zelda will be able to get an echo of Impa or some of her allies to then use them as special abilities, the same way that you can use a hookshot as Link or the bombs or whatever. I'm guessing that special abilities will come into play by using them as echoes. So we'll see. I am so excited to use as many of these things as possible to explore this world in the best way that I know how. Can't quite ignore this, but it does also look like we're getting the return of a lot of different Hylian races. Some of my favorites being the Zora and, of course, the Zora. This is the first time we've seen both Zora in one game interacting with each other. It's honestly just great. This is the first game where you get to use the Triforce of Wisdom instead of Courage to solve puzzles, because it's always been silly that the Triforce of Courage requires Link to solve all of these puzzles. And, yeah. And without stretching it too thin, that's about everything I was able to gather from the trailer. There's a few other things here and there, but they didn't really interest me that much to talk about, so I just wanted to talk about the things that I really found fascinating, and I can't wait to see more. So, I know that I said that I was going to do a 2D Zelda Lego set video. I'm still planning on doing that, but this took precedence over that because it's a new Zelda game. Of course I gotta talk about this. Alright, that's all I've got for you today. Until next time.